Hey guys, in today's episode of the Trading Coach Podcast, we're going to talk about what the ultimate mindset for elite trading is. Hope you guys enjoy the episode. By the way, if you're new to the podcast, we also have a website, www.tier1trading.com, where you can learn to trade, welcoming traders of all levels, meaning complete newbies, experienced traders. Head over there, take some courses, download some software, connect with the community, www.tier1trading.com. Let's hop into today's episode. Hey guys, welcome back to the show. Thank you for listening. Thank you for the support. Thank you for helping us become the sixth rated trading podcast out there. That's crazy. We're going to go for number 1 this year just because I'm a competitor and that's what I like to do. Speaking of being a competitor, that's part of the subject for today's podcast. And the idea comes, or I guess initially stems from a question that Mike Bellafiore asked on Twitter. Now, if you guys are not familiar with Mike Bellafiore, he's a friend of Tier 1 Trading. He's also the founder of SMB Capital, which is one of the most kind of prestigious prop firms in New York City, brick and mortar, so not like an online one. They do online stuff, but an old school one. He's also the author of 2 fantastic books that I recommend everyone read at some point in their trading career. One Good Trade, which is always in my top 3 for book recommendations, and The Playbook, which is another one. And I can just, a little personal story about both of those books. I read them after I was already, I don't want to say established as a trader, but I was already a consistently profitable trader. But they helped reinforce the lessons that I was taught, because as you can imagine, good traders the good trading lessons are typically the exact opposite of what you hear on the internet. I just did a video about some dude sharing like 750% return and all this fun stuff, right? All the stuff you hear on the internet, or most of the stuff you hear on the internet, is completely false. And you can imagine 10 years ago, it was even worse. So when I'm learning to trade and I'm hearing all this stuff, it's I kind of had to shut myself off from the internet, because I'm being taught a certain thing. I'm trying to change my mindset and shift my beliefs about trading, but I'm hearing so much noise and so much past noise about this and that and that. So you kind of feel like you're on an island where you're trying to preach and share the messages, and everyone's trolling you and making fun of you because it goes against the snake oil salesman plan and whatnot. So it was really beneficial to hear someone saying the same thing that we were saying, and it was a massive confidence boost in my trading. But he put out a quote that said, "What is the ultimate mindset for elite trading?" And there were a lot of responses, 126. I didn't read any of them. I just decided to respond on my own. I said, an athletic mindset, dedication, discipline, hard work ethic, ability to follow rules, short memory. I know personally, I believe that being an athlete, I wrote bring because I can't type, being an athlete has helped me become a successful trader because of those traits, and probably more that I left out. And I got a response from someone else saying, hey, can you explain or kindly elaborate on short memory? And I did, but I want to elaborate on all those traits. And it's important to understand that you don't have to be an athlete to have those traits. Your parents can teach them to you. You can get them working as a mechanic. You can get them doing this. You can get them doing that. Just in my personal experience, I was always into sports. So a lot of my lessons on life, a lot of my mindset, my mental toughness, a lot of that comes from being in a locker room and being coached. And I do believe that sports is a great way to do that. I've had my oldest in Taekwondo since he was 3, and I don't care if he becomes a black belt or anything like that. The point is, when we first got there, it was a place that was really focused on discipline. You have to sit, you have to raise your hand, you have to say yes sir, you have to follow directions, you have to pay attention. And the master instructor was really good at that. And from as a younger parent, you kind of need that outside reinforcement if you want to mold your kid the right way, especially during those delicate times. But let's go through each and every one and kind of talk about them. And the first one is dedication. Understand that in trading, this isn't a get rich quick scheme, right? The results aren't going to come quick. It still sickens me to this day that, people assume that you could be a great trader in 2 weeks, 2 months, right? When any other skill, and not saying trading's on the same level as these things, but if you want to learn how to drive a car, it takes time. If you want to learn how to ride a bike, it takes time. If you want to learn how to be a doctor, it takes time. If you want to learn how to fly airplanes, it takes time, right? It takes more than 2 days or 2 hours. Yet for some reason, the skill of trading the financial markets, which is a highly, it's a highly competitive area. It takes a lot of skill to do so. People think that they can just kind of download it and learn it like that. And what happens is that, for the people that don't do the dumb stuff and blow their account, a lot of people just give up before they have the chance to succeed, right? One of the first things I put in my trading plan, I always put a quote at the top of my trading plan. This is back in the day where part of my routine to kind of get into the mental space, right? I was reading a lot of Tony Robbins and doing all these positive affirmations and mental exercises to kind of flip my mindset, which worked, by the way. So part of my routine was I would read my trading plan each and every day before my trading day. That kind of like got me in the zone, right? Trading in the zone. And the first thing I had up there was a quote. And part of that quote was like, I only believe that people fail because they give up before they have the chance to succeed. And you can kind of imagine that. You've probably all seen that infographic where it's like 2 people underground digging, and like they both have these tunnels, and there's a thing of gold on the side, and one person turns away and he's like one more dig or one more hit with the shovel away from reaching the gold, and when the other guy is going to keep going and get it. And I do believe success is like that, right? Success is about hard work, discipline, dedication. I believe that if you do the right things the right way for the right reasons over the right amount of time, you will be successful. So if you can click all those boxes, do the right things, which means that you're working in the right direction. You're not just practicing, you're perfect practicing. So you're practicing things that are actually going to push you towards success. If you do the right things, if you do it the right way, meaning you're not trying to take shortcuts or anything like that. If you do it for the right reasons, maybe this isn't needed for success, but I always believe that there should be a bigger why. I think I've spoke about this in a few other podcasts recently where it's like, well, yeah, with a trader who was saying like, I kind of feel guilty about the skill of trading and extracting money from the market, and feeling guilty about wealth is a real thing. Jason Greystone did a pretty good episode on that as well. But I told him that, what's your why? Because your why is going to be your driver. Right? You're not just trading to, selfishly stuff your pockets. You're trading to, build a better life for your family. You're trading so that you have a skill you can pass it down to. I spoke to Chris on the platform the other day who said, hey, my goal is, we had an accountability session with a guy who was like 24. And he's not complaining, but like he's frustrated because like he wants to do it now. He's all high energy. And some of the older guys are like, man, like I wish I knew about trading and had the energy at 24. You've got your whole life ahead of you, buddy. But Chris was saying that, hey, I can still achieve certain goals in my trading, obviously, but one of my bigger ones is to be able to teach it to my kids so that they can have a kind of a jump start on life versus what I did. And I think that's a realistic goal. So that's the why. So doing the right things the right way, for the right reasons. It could be charitable as well. Like I teach because I want to give back, right? There are United Nations goals to create a better world, and financial education is one of them. But the part that's often missing is time, for the right amount of time. And you have to understand that it's going to take time. Speaking to Mike Bellafiore, he says that, typically what he sees is it's going to take anywhere from probably 9 to 18 months to become a consistently profitable trader. And, just think about your friends and family. How many people are actually dedicated to something for a year and a half without quitting, right? Probably like 10%, if that. That's the same reason you only see 10% of people become successful. Most people give up before they have a chance to succeed. So dedication is key. The ability to keep grinding and keep working, and the drive to keep getting better. Discipline, following rules, right? If you've been listening to this podcast long enough, you know about trading plan, right? The disciplined trader, right? You have to process over outcome. You can't break your rules, right? Self-sabotage is one of the biggest reasons that traders fail. It's not because their strategy isn't good. It's not because they suck as a trader. It's because they're not disciplined. They take trades they're not supposed to take. They sit out trades they're supposed to take. They take stops early. They move targets back. They take targets early, all that fun stuff, right? Discipline is key. Hard work ethic. We kind of talked about this earlier with dedication. You've got to be a hard worker. You've got to invest a lot of time in this skill to become successful. You've got to invest even more time in this skill to remain successful. And if you don't have that drive to kind of get up and do something, it's going to be tough. And in trading specifically, one of the hardest things is, and I always joke around, I say, you can tell I love trading because I woke up every morning excited to do it, even when I was losing money every day, right? So you either have to be blindly in love with something or an idiot to stay in a toxic relationship like that. But even when I was losing money hand over fist every day, I would wake up and I'd be like, okay, I'm going to invest 5 hours today on the charts and learn and learn and learn and learn. And, again, it's tough. It's not easy. It's kind of insane. And then hopefully you have a good support system to help you with that, because there will be times where it'll be dark and depressing and you want to quit. But you need that ability to grind. You need that ability to sacrifice. You need that ability to tell your friends, hey, I can't go to the bar tonight. Pre-COVID, of course. I can't go to the bar tonight because I've got to get in 2 hours of back testing, or I can't do this because I got to do that. I can't, going back to my famous story, the Xbox guy. Hey, I can't join you online. We can't play Call of Duty tonight because I've got a back test. You got to have that work ethic and that ability to sacrifice. Ability to follow rules. That's kind of hand in hand with discipline. And then finally, short memory. And short memory was the one that the guy responding to the tweet had a question about. And the short memory is basically the ability to, I can't say this word, compartmentalize. I feel like I butchered it. You know what I'm saying, right? You have to have the ability to kind of move on. And in sports, this is if you make a bad play, if you commit a foul or a penalty or something like that, even if you get yelled at by your coach for doing something dumb, you can't let that weight be a burden, right? You can't carry that on your shoulders because it's going to slow you down. You're going to be timid. You're going to be scared. You're going to be less confident for the rest of the game because you're holding on to that past. You have to understand that, hey, the past is the past. Like, there's absolutely nothing I can do about it now, right? Later, I can go back, I can review it, I can analyze it, I can work on it, right, in a training session. But right now, while I'm in the game, there's nothing I can do. It is only going to be a negative. So I have to have the ability to kind of cut it out my system, throw it to the side, move on with the next thing, and then I'll come back and revisit it later. And trading is the same way. You think about all the trading situations, right? If you have a really good trade, right? I just put out a Trading Edge video about this called Real and Fake Trading / Investing Expectations, the Power of Compounding. And if you have a really good trade, right? You can't let that overconfidence stay with you, because then you're going to start over trading. You're going to start entering early because you're too confident, right? And you're going to get yourself in trouble. If you have a really bad trade, right? You can't let that cause fear and now all of a sudden you're hesitating on the next solid opportunity, or you're missing it, you're skipping it because you're afraid you might get a similar result, because now you're passing up on money that's on the table, right? You can't let those things stay with you, or they're going to affect your future. And that's the snowball that happens to a lot of traders. They make one mistake, which is normal. I'm a professional trader. I've been doing this for a decade now, over a decade and a half. Sheesh. And I still make mistakes. But the thing is, you want to get rid of them quick, because one mistake isn't going to kill your trading, unless it's a really big mistake, right? But typically one mistake isn't going to kill your trading. It is the accumulation of small mistakes that kill your trading. And if you're not sure of what that looks like, if you're someone that's making mistakes, I would suggest that you go back through your results. You go back through, hopefully you're keeping tabs on all your trades, put a little red mark or whatever next to all of the trades that you made a mistake, no matter how big or how little, and then look at what that mistake cost you, and then compare that to what your results would have been if you didn't make that mistake. And you'll see that one mistake where you entered early and you took a loser, right? Nah, not a big deal. One loss shouldn't affect your account at all, right? But when you're doing that, on 25% of your trades, all of a sudden that's taking a very profitable system to break even or even into the red. So you got to have a short memory. You got to compartmentalize and you got to throw it aside and use it for review later. So if you guys think of anything else that I left out, feel free to shoot me a message at Akil Stokes RTM on Twitter, on Instagram, on Facebook. If you're watching this or listening to this on YouTube, you can shoot me a comment below the YouTube video as well. But I'd love to hear what other traits or mindsets you think are positive, required, needed for trading. If I get some good ones, maybe I'll revisit this subject and do another podcast based on your ideas. All right. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode. I mentioned this in the video. I do have a YouTube channel. I'm uploading videos each and every single day, except for Saturdays, I think. But check it out. Just YouTube search Akil Stokes. Subscribe. Hit that notification bell. That way you don't miss the next video. And of course, whenever you watch something, do me a favor. Support what I'm doing by hitting that like button. If you want to leave a comment, that is welcome.